Here in Europe we're very big on human rights, unless somebody claims the fundamental human right of free expression, and then we have a problem. Nowhere is this more evident than in the insane asylum that used to be a country called Sweden, where it seems that some opinions are simply now forbidden. Recently a Swedish politician was convicted of hate speech for correctly connecting mass Islamic immigration with the high level of rape in Sweden. The court said it didn't matter that what he said was true, nor that he provided statistical evidence to prove it was true. It was enough that it caused potential offence to Muslim immigrants, which is a crime in Sweden, as it is in several European countries whose politicians despise their own people. Swedish politicians are especially afraid of opinions that rock the boat because they've allowed their boat to become so unstable. So it was no surprise when we also heard that they've enacted a new law that will make it easier to criminalise people who express unwelcome opinions about immigration or the politicians who enable it, especially on the internet. They're keen to crack down on the internet because they know it can give people access to information that they and their bought and paid for media would rather conceal. The problem they don't want anyone discussing is not immigration, but mass Islamic immigration. Mass Islamic immigration has turned Sweden from one of the world's safest countries for women into the rape capital of Europe, and is forcing Jews who have lived there for generations to pack up and leave because they no longer feel safe from attack by Muslim immigrants, who are not only a massive drain on the welfare system, but have turned their ghettos into violent no-go areas for the police and emergency services. Everybody in Sweden knows this is happening, but they pretend it isn't because they're so terrified of being called Islamophobes and racists, and with good reason. We've seen what happens to people in Sweden who won't embrace the official multiculti lie. They can expect to have their identities hacked and to be publicly fingered for reprisals, which could mean being socially ostracised, losing their job, or being physically attacked by far-left thugs who feel entitled not only to smash the opinions of those they disagree with, but to smash their skulls for holding those opinions, all in the name of tolerance, of course, and with the tacit approval of politicians and media who despise their own people and culture for being Swedish. It's the ultimate crime. Of all the self-hating countries in Europe, Sweden has taken political correctness to a level of sheer lunacy that even the Dutch would find hard to match. And they enforce it with a Puritan rigour that's beyond foolish and beyond stupid. It's actually insane. Whatever kind of society Sweden thinks it is, it's not a free society, nor is it a liberal one, and it's barely even a democracy either, when if you vote for the only party that opposes the damage being done by mass Islamic immigration, you're treated as if you're a Nazi voting for Satan, and your physical safety is threatened. When people are afraid of the truth, they've got nowhere to turn. All they have at their disposal is censorship and denial. And Swedish politicians are so deep in denial, you can only feel pity for them. Because you know that in some dark chamber of their subconscious, these wretched people know what a terrible thing they're doing, and they know that history is going to revile them and their entire generation for it. But they just can't face up to it. Psychologically, they are simply not big enough as people to acknowledge, let alone confront, the enormity of their mistake. They back themselves into an ideological corner where their only option now is to double down on the insanity and brazen it out until the bitter end, while criminalising anyone who draws attention to it. Whatever social upheaval it may cause, and whatever the cost to Sweden's women, mass Islamic immigration must continue. Any restriction would be an admission that there's a problem, and that would fatally undermine everything they're so desperately pretending to believe in, which is why they're playing hardball, and if you say there's a problem, you'll be treated as a criminal, which means that there are now two problems. One, the Swedish people have an aggressive social cancer growing in their midst, and two, they're not allowed to talk about it. Doesn't the future look rosy?